Greetings all, Ferrari 601 here. Welcome back to Flight Simulator 2020 and welcome to Newark International Airport. Don't call it Newark Liberty, please, because that's a stupid name. But Newark Airport here in Newark, New Jersey. We have got the Boeing 787-10. What we're going to do today is the flight that every New Jersey resident has taken at least once in their lives, Newark to Miami, because everybody knows that when New Jerseyans want to die, they go to Florida. Ergo, we are going to be going to Florida here today. We're sitting here at the gate. We have got the jetway pulled back from the side of the airplane. We're fully fueled and ready to go. First thing we got to do is get some electricity going on board here. So, first part of this is to get the battery switch turned on. And there we go. Battery is up. And we have some electrical power on board this beast of an airplane. There we go. There's our departure pattern. And ultimately, we're going to be going into runway 09er at Miami, but that is about 2 hours away at this point. First thing we got to do is start to get some exterior lights on, so we need a beacon light at very least so we can start the APU, but we're going to turn on everything because, well, we're not going to follow proper procedure. APU, get this thing started. Okay, so we'll get some electrical generation going on here rather than running off a battery, as well as getting hydraulic pressure started. Once we get the APU running, we will request taxi and pushback. And I hear the APU starting up. Hearing constant RPM on the APU. APU gen's on. And alright, we're on APU power. Next thing that I'm going to do is request taxi clearance. First of all, the IFR clearance.
Newark ground, Boeing Foxtrot 601 IFR to Miami, ready to copy.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 is cleared to Miami Airport as filed.
For right, for takeoff.
Full right climb and maintain 11,000 feet.
I'm gonna dial in 40,000. Because everybody knows that by the time you get cleared to a given altitude, you go up to another one.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 cleared to Miami Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 4 right climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 119er, decimal 2 squawk 0145.
Boeing 601 readback correct. Contact ground on 121.8. Good day.
Alright, give me taxi.
Newark ground, Boeing Foxtrot 601 with Quebec ready to taxi IFR.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 taxi to and hold short of runway 4 right using taxiway Alpha Tree Romeo Bravo Victor, cross runway 4 left Victor Papa Papa 1. Contact tower on 118.3 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 4 right via taxiway Alpha Tree Romeo Bravo Victor, cross runway 4 left Victor Papa Papa 1 Boeing 601.
Okay, the important part of all of this is runway 4 right. We are going to be crossing runway 4 left, and that is pretty standard as far as I'm concerned. Ground services, give me pushback, please.
Newark ground, Boeing Foxtrot 601 requesting pushback.
At the same time,
601 pushback request accepted.
we have released our parking brake. And we got the tug coming into position. As we are pushing back, once we confirm that we are docked to the tug and that pushback has started, we will begin engine start because we've got the APU running at this point. Right, tug is almost in position. Tug is in position. Getting ready for pushback. There we go. Okay. So we are now pushing back. Let us begin our engine start. APU is online. Alright, start up the left engine, please. And we have got N2 RPM. Push back, steer to the right. Let's see. Another few seconds on that. There's 20% N2, fuel on. Oil pressure is at 10. Waiting for fuel flow. I'm not seeing fuel flow yet. That's a problem. But push back, steer to the right, please.
Newark ground, Boeing Foxtrot 601, requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Boeing Foxtrot 601, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
I do not yet have any EGT on engine number 1. Probably fuel pumps that we need to set up. No problem. Alright, just stop pushback here.
Newark ground, Boeing Foxtrot 601, requesting the end of pushback.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 request to end pushback received.
Alright, parking brake reset. Yeah, we have fuel pumps that are not set up yet. We'll bring the starter out there. Okay, N2 is coming down. Cool. Start up that engine once again, please. Did not have our pumps set up. Right. Now we should get EGT and fuel flow. There we go. Fuel flow. EGT is coming up. We have got a light off on the left engine. Good stuff. Wonderful. EGT has peaked and is coming back down. Starter out. We confirm starter out. And generator control on the AC buses from the left engine. Both generators are on. Good. Same thing here on the right engine. Start, please. We have N2. There's 10. 15, stand by for fuel on. 18, 19, 20, fuel on. Wait for fuel flow. Fuel flow confirmed. EGT coming up. Light off. N1 and N2 continuing to rise. We have a light off on engine number 1. Good stuff. And generator control there on engine number 1, right-hand engine. Both generators are on. That's good. Starter out. And at this point, we can turn off the APU. APU off, APU gen off. All right, parking brake released. Give me some throttles. We can begin our taxi out to runway 4 right. Hello, ground service vehicle. You're about to get run over. Yep, you were warned. Goodbye. Okay, where, pray tell, is the runway? Kind of heading in the wrong direction, aren't we? I think we may well be. Not a big deal. If this is a sign of things to come, I am quite terrified of how we're going to do 1,000 miles or so. Going down to the other end of the continent, but whatever. Yeah, I see. But there's the A320neo. Nice little airplane. Take our little detour to admire it. I meant to do that. Of course you know I meant to do that. Regardless though, that's taxiway Alpha. Yeah, okay. This is kind of sort of making sense to me. I know what Newark Airport looks like. And I know where it is in relation to the Hudson River. So if that means anything, that's what we're going to be looking at, because Manhattan is over there. Looking for the red taxiway markers because that tells us where runways are. Hello, another ground service vehicle. You're about to get run over. You chose poorly. Right. Runway over here. This is 4 left, I'm going to say. And that suits you right, 4 left. Indeed it is. Crossing the runway. Hopefully nobody was coming into land, because if they were, I just messed up their plans. Sorry. Meanwhile, 22 left, 4 right. We will hold short. Good. Give me ATC, if you please. Newark Tower, takeoff clearance.
Newark Tower, Boeing Foxtrot 601, ready for IFR departure, runway 4 right.
Flaps coming down to 10.
Boeing Foxtrot 601, altimeter 30.05, wind 253 at 12. Cleared for takeoff, runway 4 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 4 right, Boeing Foxtrot 601.
All right. Speed hold is in at 250 knots. Altitude hold is at flight level 400. Auto throttles are armed. Let's take to the runway. This is the touchdown zone, so we don't have the full runway to deal with. We're kind of heavy on fuel at the moment. More fuel than we need for this flight. So we'll stop here. We'll set the parking brake. And then we will firewall the engines and wait for them to get to full RPM. We have our landing lights coming on. And I think, yep, we'll set our auto brake to RTO just in case. Arm our spoilers. QNH is set for 30.05. All right. Go to Toga Power, full throttle, please. There we go, full throttle. Engines are up. Gonna wait for 100% on N1. 98. 99. 100. Go. All right. We are rolling. Airspeed alive. $80 knots. 100 knots. Call V1 at 120. Call V2 at 140. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Flaps coming up. Good stuff, AP. Call me VNav. And altitude. Altitude hold. Good.
Contact New York departure on 119.2. Good day.
Going to
119.2.
2 Boeing 601.
Hello, New York departure.
New York departure Boeing Foxtrot 601 is passing 1,200 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
All right, looking for a left turn anytime now.
01 New York departure altimeter 30.05. Continue as planned. New York departure Cessna November 5740 Zulu is passing 1,000 feet, climbing 7,000 feet.
There comes the left turn. Beautiful.
5740 Zulu New York departure altimeter 30.05. Continue as planned.
So the airplane is cleaned up, gears up, flaps are up, and we will be getting onto our course. We will maintain speed below 250 knots, below 10,000 feet. There's our OMI going off. There's Newark Airport behind us. And the outer bridge crossing. All that stuff. Going over these bridges costs, last time I drove over one of these bridges to go into Staten Island, New York, it was $16 one way. Don't even want to know what they are now. How the ever. 7,000 feet, 240 knots.
Boeing 601 climb and maintain flight level 180.
Good stuff. Climb, maintain 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180, Boeing 601.
Boeing 601 contact New York Center.
118-975.
Good day.
G'day, New York Center, 118-975. Foxtrot 601.
75, Boeing 601.
Hello, New York. Happy to see you go.
New York Center Boeing Foxtrot 601 is passing 9,100 feet, climbing flight level 180.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 center altimeter 30.05. Continue to ditch as planned.
Continues to ditch. Okay, fine, fine. Obviously, these are the names of the nav aids, but people have some fun here. ATC tells you to ditch, you're in some serious trouble.
November 9er 321 Whiskey flight level 180.
Meanwhile, over here, Verrazano Narrows and the eponymous Verrazano Narrows Bridge.
Continue as planned.
Over here we have got the peninsula of Sandy Hook, New Jersey, and the Sandy Hook Bay, which then feeds into the mouth of the Raritan River. This is Staten Island, New York. This is the outer bridge crossing. Staten Island is a hellhole. The Verrazano Bridge links Staten Island and Brooklyn. Brooklyn is also a hellhole. Sandy Hook is a mixture of a tourist trap and an active U.S. Coast Guard base. And a little bit further down the coast, you will see an active U.S. Navy base. We may or may not get to see that. Meanwhile, altitude is 13,200 feet. Goodbye, speed limits. Give me 240 knots or 340 knots for the moment. $15,000 feet mark. Good stuff. And this area right here is what we call the Bay Shore. This is where F-Man lives, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you know this, most of you don't know this, but this place that you see right before you, from horizon to horizon, encompasses where I have spent 99.97% of my life, including right below us where you see the Raritan River. That's the Garden State Parkway, crossing the Raritan River at the Driscoll and Edison bridges, as well as the North Jersey coastline crossing the Raritan River over the Victory Bridge, which was built right after World War II, renovated in the mid-2000s. Flight level 240, roger.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, Boeing 601.
Meanwhile, returning from our reverie here, going to turn off our landing lights because we don't need to be running those unnecessarily. Otherwise, we are in good shape. 19,400 feet, continuing to climb, going up to 40,000. But yeah, this part of the world is where I call home. Used to live north of the Raritan Bay, but not too much farther north. Basically, every place that I have ever called home is within sight at this time. And to be honest with you, it's makes me feel rather limited in terms of my perspective on life in general, because I know that the world is so much bigger than this. But the distinctive shape of the east coast of New Jersey very clearly in view here. You can see how the Raritan River sort of bisects the northern half of the state. You can see the Kill Van Kull, which bisects New Jersey from Staten Island, New York.
Good day. 124.775, Boeing 601.
Hello, Washington.
Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601 is at flight level 235, climbing flight level 240.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center. Continue to ditch as planned.
Do not ditch. Do not ditch.
Boeing 601
300, roger, Washington.
300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, Boeing 601.
Do not ditch. Cool. Okay, airplane is in good shape at the moment. Obviously, we're over 20,000 feet. Precise altitude is 25,500 feet. We will be looking at probably contrailing very shortly. And as far as we're concerned in terms of real-world weather conditions, it is perfect flying weather. At this point, this is US 9, and the road below. Back there, that is a racetrack. Is it? Could be Monmouth Park, or it could be Freehold Raceway. There's a chance of that. Probably not. Still possible. And I believe that's KBLM. That is, why does the name elude me right now? But Monmouth Executive, that's the airport. I believe that's Monmouth Executive below us. KBLM, I think that's it. If we pull up the VFR map, I'll be able to tell you. Is that KBLM? No, I think we're a little bit too far west for that. KBLM is back over here. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't entirely know where we are anymore.
Boeing 601, contact New York Center on 128.3. Good day.
And this is why I am not a formal flight sim guy, because I know that I don't know enough. I know what I don't know, effectively. And because I know what I don't know, I don't make this my typical fare.
128.3, Boeing 601. New York Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601 is passing flight level tree 10, descending flight level tree 00.
Boeing Foxtrot 601, New York Center. Continue to ditch as planned.
They want me... Okay.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 80.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 80, Boeing 601.
I was going to say, if they wanted me to descend back to 31,000, that was going to be supremely annoying, but they appear to have stamped that out. They handed me off a little bit late. What are we doing here in terms of de-icing? We don't have any cloud cover, so it shouldn't be a problem. Wing de-icers are off. Engine anti-ice is to auto. I'm going to actually turn these off, because I don't think we need that bleed air going out. But regardless, you can see over here on the east coast of New Jersey, and there is a distinction to be made here between east and west coast of New Jersey, because there is a west coast of New Jersey along the Delaware River. But as you can see here, about the level of the empennage on our airplane, you can see that we start to go away from the actual continental shelf, and we get out to the Barrier Island. The Barrier Islands are where a lot of the high dollar real estate is in this state, and I think it's incredibly misguided, because anytime that the ocean decides to do something, it's the Barrier Islands that go underwater, because they're barrier islands. And as much as I say maybe you shouldn't be building permanent structures on these barrier islands, people continue to say, oh yeah, we want to build here and we want to sell multi-million-dollar real estate. And then when the people lose their multi-million-dollar real estate because of forces of nature, they say, oh, how come nobody warned us? So it is what it is. I, personally, am not in a position to afford any of this multi-million-dollar real estate anyway, so to them I say, told you so. Even though I know none of those people. If you are one of those people, though, and let's say you happen to be a mid-20s to early 30s single woman, please hit me up. Regardless, a little bit of a course correction here, entirely commanded by autopilot. Where are we at the moment? Coming into Vils at 32 nautical miles. Took quite a while to go before we got to Miami. Fine by me.
Boeing 601, contact Washington Center on 124.775. Good day.
124.775, Roger.
124.775 for Boeing 601. Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601 is at flight level tree 75, climbing flight level tree 80.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center, continue to VILLS as planned.
It's Vils, okay? Say Vils, please.
Boeing 601 climb and maintain flight level 400.
400, okay, finally, cruising altitude.
Climb and maintain flight level 400, Boeing 601.
Cool. Once we get to cruising altitude, we're gonna be at, where? Ground speed is 427 knots. We will be increasing our speed rather tremendously.
Beechcraft 531, contact New York Center on 118.975. Good day.
Coming up on cruising altitude at 400. Stand by. 394.
118.975.
395. 396. 397. And obviously we are leveling off now. Good stuff.
Boeing 601, contact Washington Center on 125.45.
125.45.
Daughter Sierra Uniform, Papa, contact Washington Center on 132.525.
We'll be dealing with this tower for a little while, I guess.
125.45.
Engines are throttling back.
Washington Center,
Hello, Washington.
Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center, continue to VILLS as planned.
Yeah. Give me some more speed, please. There we go. Don't quite know why the engines were rolling back, but we seem to have fixed it. Right, so we are over a substantial body of water. I believe that this would be the Delaware Bay, and indeed it is. This is Cape May, New Jersey. Over here is the, what did they call this? The Delaware River, around the area of Camden and Philadelphia. And then the Delaware Bay, Cape May, and then the Atlantic Ocean. A little bit of a course correction here to the left. Appear to have a little bit of a weather front right ahead. We'll see what that actually is. I'm looking up my real world weather right here. I don't see anything on radar. Satellite says scattered clouds. Nothing tremendous. Should be smooth sailing basically until we get down to Florida. Around the area of Cape Canaveral, we're going to have some scattered showers and thunderstorm activity at the moment. That might change in 2 hours. We'll see. But at this point, we have left New Jersey, I believe. Telling me contact Washington Center. I keep doing this. There we go.
132.05, Boeing 601.
Hello, Washington, once again.
Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center.
Confer.
Continue to CONFR as planned.
Confer! Say confer! But coming in, we're going to be right on the limit there of what we're able to do in terms of our speed capacity. Basically transonic. We're transonic already, Mach 0.913, which is pretty fast for an airplane like this, but cabin altitude is at 94.99. Perfectly habitable. Delta P is 7.96. And the pressurization system is working. Good stuff. It's our HUD showing us, yeah, nothing useful really. Which is a shame that the field of view is not really conducive to the HUD, because the HUD's very useful. But yeah, that is what it is. Oh well. But completely within the airspace of Delaware now. We will continue to fly down the eastern seaboard. Cool stuff.
Boeing 601 contact Washington Center on 132.55. Good day.
Going to 132.55, Boeing 601. Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center. Continue to CONFR as planned. Washington Center, Cessna November 6640 for 6,800 feet. Cessna November 6640 for Washington Center altimeter 30.11, continue to Echo November Oscar as planned.
I had to pull that up there because I heard Cessna and then I heard 46800 in terms of the altitude. But no, it is November 66404 at 6,800 feet. I was going to say, what the hell kind of Cessna are you that you're at 46,000 feet? We're not anywhere near 46,000 feet, so that would be quite remarkable. Unless you were a Citation or something, but even then you're really pushing it, so. We figured that one out. Another small course correction to the right. How are we doing? 40,000 feet. Coming up on Calda in 21 nautical miles. Mark. Cool. Weather is good. Down below, of course. Up here, there's not really much weather to speak of. Ground speed is 537 knots, and we have got a pretty substantial crosswind here from the jet stream. Bearing 319er at 49er knots. But rudder trim is still pretty neutral, and stabilizer trim is just above what we would expect for takeoff. So that's fine. No issues with any of that. So still feeling okay as far as where this airplane is going. And because Delaware is a rather small state, we are about halfway down the coast of Delaware at this point. Kind of cool, but also kind of depressing. Because Delaware is the place that nobody goes to. Unless you're a corporation. Because I think corporate taxes are at like 0% in Delaware for some reason. But I don't want to talk about politics, so yes. Another slight course correction to the right. Again, nothing particularly interesting at this point. Well, we do have quite a while to go here in cruise. Unless I am very much mistaken, I think that's the Chesapeake Bay dead ahead. Yeah, it is Plæn portion of the Chesapeake Bay, coming down through the peninsula here that sort of is shared between Delaware and Maryland. And then we start to get into the incorrect and correct Carolinas, Georgia, and then God's own green earth, that is the state of Florida. Very cool. But yes, that is the Chesapeake Bay, which does mean that we're getting into the area of Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. Someplace out there is Norfolk, where is the, at this point, the current and perhaps final resting place of the battleship USS Wisconsin, BB-64. Someday I want to get out there and see all of the Iowa-class battleships, but to date I've only seen one of them. But Wisconsin is the next one that is closest to me, so someday we will get out and we will see Wisconsin. There will be a video about it if and when that happens. But for the moment, we are copacetic here on our 787.
Contact Washington Center on 123.85. Good day.
123.85.
123.85 for Boeing 601.
Hello, Washington, on a different frequency.
Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601
Ears.
Washington
Please say
Center.
ears.
Continue to ERZZ.
Why? Say ears! It's funny! I don't know who is responsible for naming these nav aids, but whoever was obviously had a sense of humor, and these continue across the entire country. So we're going to ears, 66 nautical miles. Stand by. Mark, 66 nautical miles. To ears. Cool stuff. Nice. Someplace around here is a big tunnel that goes underneath the bay. I don't know exactly where that is, but it's a thing that exists around here. I'd be a great tour guide. What are we looking at directly below is the better question. Nothing really recognizable. But it looks pretty nonetheless. Cool stuff. Very cool stuff indeed.
Washington Center Airbus November 2534 Echo is passing flight level 290 climbing flight level 290. Airbus November 2534 Echo Washington Center, continue as planned. 1, contact Washington Center on 135.5. Good day.
Going to 135.5, Boeing 601. Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center, continue to EARZZ as planned. Dollar 1 Sierra Uniform, descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Descend and maintain 2,200 feet, Dollar 1 Sierra Uniform. Dollar 1 Sierra Uniform, you are 27 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach. Dollar 1 Sierra Uniform. Cessna 56 tree contact Washington Center on 123.85. Good day.
Meanwhile, as far as we go, everything is still copacetic.
123.85 Cessna 56 tree.
Getting rid of that Cessna. And as far as we're concerned, we're now within sight, at least on the radar scope, of Miami. 77 nautical miles out from, where are we? Yankee Lee, if you want to call that. Cool stuff. Looking outside. We're looking good as far as I'm concerned here. I have got no complaints and no concerns. Plenty of fuel on board. Everything is just fantastic for the moment. Continuing to make our way over toward Florida, Miami, on runway 9er, where it should be an absolutely wonderful day until the stereotypical afternoon thunderstorm blows up over Miami, because it's Florida after all.
uniform, contact Washington Center on 135.3. Good day. $135.3 1 Sierra uniform. Washington Center, Cessna November 2183, Echo 7,000 feet. Cessna November 2183, Echo Washington Center altimeter 30.20. Continue to India Sierra Oscar as planned. Cessna 83 Echo, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet altimeter 30.20. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet Cessna 83 Echo. Cessna 19er Victor, contact Washington Center on 135.3. Good day. Going to 135.3 Cessna 19er Victor. Washington Center, Beechcraft November 3, 6127 is passing 12,700 feet, climbing flight level 250. Beechcraft November 3, 6127 Washington Center altimeter 30.20. Continue to Buddha as planned. Boeing 601, contact Washington Center on 120.85. Good day.
Going to 120.85, Boeing 601. Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center, continue to Wyoming as planned. 72 mic contact Jacksonville Center on 128.7. Good day. .7 Airbus 72 mic.
At this point, you can see that we are crossing the coast of the correct Carolina, and we are continuing our journey southward. Someplace over the horizon is Florida, which is Shangri-La as far as we're concerned. And of course, the southern area of Florida, very near the southern tip of Florida, Miami, as the initial settlers of the area would have called it. That is our destination. However, as we pass the coastline of the correct Carolina, we are... where are we? Within 640 nautical miles of our destination. Going down to the 320 scope. We are at 40,000 feet, 282 knots indicated, Mach 0.913. Ground speed is 533 knots. True air speed is 516. Winds aloft are 335 at 19er. Fuel on board is 211,400 pounds. Gross weight is 510,100 pounds. Engines are good. Fuel is good. No problems here. We will continue on our course. Nothing to report in terms of adverse actions here on the part of the airplane, and a clear line of sight to the horizon all around, which is very, very cool. Jacksonville. Hello, Jacksonville. But first, goodbye, Washington. Hello, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601 flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Jacksonville Center. Continue to ZILOS as planned.
Zills. Say zills, please. But everything is good. Finally under the command of Florida. And we are in a fairly hard right turn at the moment. We'll start rolling out of it. There we go. Cool. We're now lined up for, I guess we could pronounce that as Austin. 13 nautical miles, standby, mark. Once we go to Austin, we will go to Agre, I guess we could say. Starting to get away from the pronounceable names for these nav aids. Agre, and then Nurse, and then Baja, Duli, Hebach or Haibach. Don't know. Wait for the realignment to Agre, which should be pretty uneventful because we appear to be directly aligned with it already. Should get the realign at about 3 nautical miles out. There's 5, 4.5, 4, 3.5, stand by. 3, there's Agre, 76 nautical miles, mark. Okay, cool. And no appreciable course correction. Cool. Everything still proceeding as expected here. No problems. Looking good. Looking real good. And this is actually the most risky part of the flight as far as risk assessment, because we are over the ocean. And we are appreciably far offshore at this point. But we'll be tucking back in toward the eastern seaboard soon enough. And by the time that happens, we'll be thinking about dropping down toward our approach and landing into Miami. So, once again, things are looking good at this time aboard the 787-10. Nothing to complain about. On course for Miami. At this point, we'll be landing in approximately 40 minutes. Also, something I want to point out here, you can look directly below our aircraft right now. You can see that we have a difference in the visual reflectivity of the sea surface. This, I believe, is an attempt to render the differences in currents, which therefore lend themselves to differences in water temperature as well as salinity in the ocean. This area off the coast of the Correct Carolina is part of what is known as the Sargasso Sea. Sargasso is a variety of algae seaweed type thing, and I've been in this area of the ocean several times myself on a ship, being able to see it up close and personal. What you see out there is sometimes quite large carpet-like formations of Sargasso, which is seaweed. So you see this stuff forming on the surface, and sometimes it extends for several hundred meters in any direction. Of course, modern ships, they just cut through it without any problem, but I could see in the age of sail where you might look at something like that and say, we might want to avoid this. But Sargasso, it's a type of seaweed, it exists in this part of the world, and maybe we're seeing some attempt to represent it here. Also, though, other areas where I have flown over the ocean, such as in the Pacific, in the vicinity of Hawaii, as well as some of the mid-Pacific islands, such as Midway and Guam and Rota, those places, you also see similar patterns. They're not reflections of clouds, because quite obviously we would be looking down on most of the clouds at this point, and if we look above, well, we're almost looking at the stars here. In fact, we do see a couple of stars at this altitude. So we are looking at MSFS and its representations of sea currents, salinity, temperatures, and things like that. Interesting to note. Is it accurate? I don't know. I haven't seen much of the ocean at an altitude like this, but being on the sea, on a ship in this area, yes, you do see some different patterns in terms of visual formations, as well as debris in the ocean in this area, particularly sargasso and other algal blooms in this particular spot on the planet. But none of that in particular appears to be evident here. However, we continue on our way. Currently 40,000 feet, 282 knots indicated. We are 21 nautical miles away from Ogre. Stand by, mark. There it is. Engines are good, fuel flow is good. Cabin altitude is 9,500 feet. Right where it should be. We are in good shape. Keep our speed brakes armed for landing, which is still a little while away. Cool stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, everything is still copacetic. No problems aboard. Airplane is performing wonderfully. And we will continue on our way. No problems here. Just eating up the miles. Good times. Seeing a slight course correction here to the left. What does that actually mean for us? It means that we are getting ourselves set up for a right turn in a little while, about 100 nautical miles, once we get to Dooley, and then Hebach, or Haibach, whatever you want to call it. And then we start to get into our approach pattern. I'm expecting to be told to descend around the area of G-Pod, E-Pod, J-Pod, whatever you want to call it, and then we start to get into the approach pattern for Miami.
Airbus November 9444 Delta is passing flight level 270, climbing flight level 270.
But so far, everything okay.
444 Delta Jacksonville Center. Continue as planned.
You're passing 270, climbing to 270. Okay. Glad I'm not on your airplane. But we're looking good as far as I'm concerned. And again, looking for a landing here. I said 40 minutes about 20 minutes ago. Maybe I underestimated that a little bit because, you know, the Earth is big. But landing will be happening sooner than later, if that makes any sense for anyone. Also, you can see just how far away we are from shore. Any direction you look, you do not see any obvious signs of land. Obviously out here, looking toward the east, that's the Atlantic Ocean.
601 contact Washington Center on 120.85. Good day.
12085.
Going to 120.85, Boeing 60.
But as I was saying, you do not see any obvious signs of land. Which is interesting to me.
Washington Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Washington Center. Continue to Baja as planned.
Baja! He said Baja! Ah! Okay. Baja! Cool. You people. But no, as far as we're concerned, we're out in the middle of the ocean. We're not. Obviously, we can prove this conclusively. Pull up the VFR map. Here we are, the coast of the correct Carolina, as well as Georgia right there. And at this point, almost Florida. Cool. We'll say roughly on this course, we will turn a little bit more toward the east. We will come along the coast just south of Patrick Air Force Base. That's Kilo Charlie Oscar Foxtrot. And then we'll come down to J-Pod, Widget, whatever the hell you want to call it, but Widget or Weedet, Ronku, Bluefy, Tarpon, Spinner, whatever, Imapi, and then Leg, Grit, Ines or Ness, and then runway 09er at Miami. Cool stuff. Still doing good as far as we're concerned with our fuel consumption and all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to beginning our descent.
Center, Cessna November 1582 Whiskey is at flight level 400, climbing flight level 400. Cessna November 1582 Whiskey, Washington Center, continue to Magic as planned. Contact Jacksonville Center on 134.0. Good day.
134.0.
134.0 for Boeing 601.
Good stuff. Hello, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Jacksonville Center, continue to Baja as planned.
Continue to say Baja, I'm happy.
Boeing 601 contact Miami Center on 124.1. Good day.
Going to 124.1 Boeing 601.
124.1. Hello, Miami.
Miami Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Miami Center, continue to Dully as planned.
Should, I caution should, be in good shape as far as we're concerned. Continuing our approach toward Florida. There's the coast. Good. We go back now into the cockpit. Yep. Once we get to Dooley in 19 nautical miles, stand by mark 19. We'll make a little bit of a turn toward the west, and then we'll really start to come down the coast. But we are more or less in a position where we should be coming back into view of the eastern seaboard. And before too long, we'll be thinking about descent and approach. Switching to the 160 scope. And then on this one, switching to the 320 scope. Cool. Still in good shape, no problems. Engines are good, fuel flow and fuel levels are good. 504,000 pounds gross weight. 205,300 pounds. Now 200 pounds of fuel remaining. Good. I have no problems with anything at the moment. Feeling good. Airplane is performing wonderfully. Just waiting to come in. Everything is still wonderful. Taking a look directly ahead here, we apparently have a weather system here. Nothing particularly difficult, but it is obscuring our view of the ground. Do we have anything on the weather radar that may be of interest? Not really. Not at this time. No. No substantial rain, nothing like that. Looking okay so far, but obviously we do have something going on here. So, we'll keep that in mind. Obviously we will break through this cloud deck once we start to descend, and I'm not expecting any significant difficulties coming into Miami.
Airbus November Flight 627 Whiskey is at flight level 310, climbing flight level 310. Cessna 82 Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 400. Airbus November Flight 627 Whiskey Miami Center, continue as planned.
So, we are still good.
Flight level 400, Cessna 82 Whiskey.
But again, market change in the ambient cloud cover conditions. So once we get below 30,000, I would say we should start to see the ground again, and that will be quite all right.
Niner 5 Mike descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet Beechcraft Niner 5 Mike. Niner 4 Mike descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet Cessna Niner 4 Mike. Beechcraft 40 Kilo descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Cessna Niner 4 Mike traffic is 2 o'clock 2 miles at 9,000 feet Beechcraft B36. Report them in sight. Niner 4 Mike have the traffic. November Flight 848 Lima, 9,000 feet. Beechcraft November Flight 848 Lima, Miami Center altimeter 30.09er, continue as planned.
Miami Center 13225.
132.25, Boeing 601. Miami Center, Boeing Foxtrot 601, flight level 400.
Diamond 84 Whiskey, contact Miami Center on 127.2.
And there's the coast of Florida.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Miami Center, continue to Odette as planned.
Beautiful.
127.2 Diamond 84 Whiskey. Boeing 601, descend and maintain flight level tree 30.
Descend and maintain flight level tree 30, Boeing 601.
Descend and maintain 330. Roger. Alright. We're at top of descent. Looking good. Start to descend here. Give me spoilers and we will.
Cessna 82 Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level tree 70.
Yeah, just modulate speed here. Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 70, Cessna 82 Whiskey.
Everything is good as far as I'm concerned. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful.
Miami Center Diamond, November 4084 Whiskey is at 7,800 feet, climbing flight level 240. Diamond, November 4084 Whiskey, Miami Center altimeter 30.09er, continue to XPRSL as planned. Beechcraft 494 traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 10,000 feet Diamond DA62. Report them in sight. Diamond 7 Tree, Kilo traffic is 9 o'clock, 4 miles at 9,000 feet Beechcraft B36. Report them in sight. Beechcraft 494 have the Diamond DA62 in sight. Diamond 7 Tree, Kilo have the traffic. Boeing 601, descend and maintain flight level 230.
Descend and maintain flight level 230, Boeing 601.
Miami Center, Beechcraft November, Tree 984 Papa, 6,000 feet. Beechcraft November, Tree 984 Papa, Miami Center altimeter, Tree 0.09er, continue as planned. Beechcraft 49er, 4 traffic alert. 1 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 10,100 feet diamond, DA62. Report them in sight. Diamond 7 Tree, Kilo traffic alert. 4 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 9,000 feet Beechcraft, B36. Report them in sight. Boeing 601, contact Miami Center on 132.15. Good day.
Going to 132.15, Boeing 601.
13215.
Miami
Yeah,
Center,
hello, Miami.
Foxtrot 601 is at flight level tree 15, descending flight level 230.
Boeing Foxtrot 601
Bluefy.
Miami Center. Continue to Bluefy as planned.
Alright. Keep going to Bluefy. No idea what the hell a Bluefy is, but that's where we're going. 31,000. We are descending at about 800 feet per minute. That is honestly not going to be enough. So what I'm going to do, set us for 250, disengage the auto throttle, make sure that our throttles are set to idle, and we are going to descend at 3,000 feet per minute. And from that point, we will continue our descent. We'll pass Bluefy in 11 nautical miles. Stand by. Mark 11 for Bluefy, and then we will really start to descend and get into the approach pattern. But we are right where we should be, as far as everything else is concerned. Once we get to Bluefy, we'll get a rather hard turn to the right, which will head almost due south for a time. And then we will figure out what happens next. But so far so good, no complaints. Stand by for our course change to the south, 4 nautical miles. Stand by for the turn. Mark, there's the turn. Good. Looks good. Looks real good. So our heading is 200. Probably will level out at about 201, 202. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. But regardless, still looking good. There's 207 degrees on the compass. We are descending to flight level 230.
Boeing 601 descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
Yeah, still looking at 12,000 feet now. Okay. Good stuff.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet, Boeing 601.
There goes 12,000. Okay, we're set, and we will continue to descend. Vertical speed, continue my descent. Let's do 4,000 per minute. 4,000 per minute, mark. Okay. Again, not looking to
Cessna Niner Tree might contact Miami
do anything particularly interesting.
Good day.
Just looking to make sure that we don't exceed
Going to 1 tree 2.257.
our speed limit below 10,000. $20,000 feet, stand by. Mark, 20,000. And of course, as the air density increases, as we drop lower in altitude, we're going to have higher indicated airspeed relative to Mach number. Mach number, in terms of the critical Mach number, doesn't change, but indicated airspeed will start to become a little bit higher relative to the critical Mach number. However, we're not going to be concerned about that for too much longer because we're going to be slowing right down to get into the approach for Miami. Coming down through 15,000 feet, stand by. Mark, 15,000. Still looks good. Here's 350 knots. Be leveling out very shortly, so we won't have to worry about the overspeed in all likelihood. Yep, starting to pitch up.
Cessna 82 Whiskey descend and maintain 12,000 feet. Descend and maintain 12,000 feet, Cessna 82 Whiskey. Cessna 82 Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 200. Keep speed not above 280 knots. Climb and maintain flight level 200. Keep speed not above 280 knots. Cessna 82 Whiskey. Cessna 82 Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 210.
Alright.
Boeing 601 descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Roger that.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Boeing 601.
Engines are idle. 250 knots will be the speed that we dial in now. Stand by.
Maintain flight level 210, Cessna 82 Whiskey.
Good. 4,000. 4,000 dialed in. Descend, please. 4,000 feet per minute. Good.
Boeing 601
Miami approach 120.5.
Good day.
120.5, Boeing 601.
All right. Hello, Miami approach.
Miami approach Boeing Foxtrot 601 is at 10,000
Spoilers.
feet, descending 4,000 feet.
Boeing Foxtrot 601 Miami approach altimeter
10,000.
Planned. Boeing 601, you are 30 miles northeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 9er approach via lake transition. Cleared to leg.
Clear leg. Spec 9er.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 9er approach via leg transition. Cleared to leg Boeing 601.
Okay. Should be good. We will fly at 4,000 feet at 250 knots to leg. It'll take a little while, but we're now at 250 knots. 7,400 feet and descending. There's 5,800 feet. 3007 QNH. Still looking good. And out in front of us here, look at this urban sprawl. I do not like this. Would not want to live in this area. But that is Miami. Alright, auto throttles, come back. Engine's responding. Looking good. So clear to leg transition, that is 25 nautical miles out. Waiting on that. Stand by. Mark 25. By 20 nautical miles. Mark 20. Alright. Still looks good. Miami is out here. Yep. It's Miami International. And then out here is the city of Miami. Cool stuff. I've flown into here a couple of times before. It's a very nice approach. And you can see, as quickly as the urban sprawl began, it ends. We get into uninhabited wilderness. Florida, folks. It is what it is. Coming into this long 180-degree turn toward leg. Holding 250 knots. No problems there. Looking good. And we'll continue this turn all the way through the arc to leg. And right now the approach feather is still way above us. But at some point we will switch our autopilot mode from hold altitude to approach hold. And then we'll start a 3-degree glide slope down to the runway. When that exactly happens, we will determine. But landing lights coming on. Everything else is ready for landing as far as we're concerned. But we will fly this at 250 knots. Descend and maintain 3,000. Roger.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet, Boeing 601.
Engines are idled. To leg, 3.5 nautical miles. .8. .32. No, that's 3. Stand by. 3.5. There we go. 3.1, 3, cool, 2.9, makes sense. Again, still waiting for the X and the Y intercept on this. And then we'll really start to bring our speed down, start to bring the flaps out and all that kind of stuff. We are at 3,000 feet. We are now lined up for grit. Alright, coming up on our X intercept. I can see the runway. Runway 9er at Miami in sight. Start to slow it down. I want you people to give me 169er knots. 169er. Hold that. Give me flaps 1. Alright. Intercepted on the X. Alright, coming in on the Y. Stand by for approach transition. Stand by for flaps 5.
Boeing 601, you are 1 tree
Flaps 5.
Miami. Contact Miami Tower on 118.3 when inbound on the approach.
We are inbound.
Tower on 118.
Stand by for approach transition. Approach, stand by. Hello, Miami.
Miami Tower, Boeing Foxtrot.
Stand by. Wait for the intercept on the Y.
ILS runway 9er approach.
Y-axis intercept, stand by.
Boeing Foxtrot 601.
Y-axis intercept. Mark, approach hold. Alright, we're coming down. Cleared ILS 9er.
Cleared ILS
Looking good.
runway 9er approach, Boeing 601.
Alright, I'm going to turn off the auto throttle and make sure that we're idle on throttles. We're on a glide slope. armed. Auto brake set for auto brake step 3. Waiting for landing clearance before we put the gear down. Landing lights are on, 2,500 feet. Stand by for landing clearance. Flaps 10. (1,900 feet from our radar altimeter). Clear to land, runway 09er, gear coming.
Clear to land, runway 9er.
Clear to land, runway 9er, 601. Looking good. Flaps at 10. 1,500 feet. Gear down and locked. $1,100. Stand by. 1,000. Checked. We are landing. 900. $800. 700. 600. 500. 400. Standby autopilot disconnect. 300 disconnect. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20, 10, there we go, touchdown, main gear touchdown, reversers unlocked and engaged. We got spoilers out, and auto brake is on. 130, 120, 110, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, reversers out, auto brakes disengaged. Turn it off. 40, 35.
601 contact ground on 121.8.
Turn off.
121.8.
121.8.
601.
Okay, we are now off of the runway, and we're not going to abide by any further ground control indications or recommendations. We are now just going to get ourselves to a gate, whatever that may entail. Flaps up. I see a whole bunch of gates out ahead, so that's what we're going to do. But 2 hours, 28 minutes into this, after spawning on the ground at Newark, New Jersey, we are now here in Miami, Florida. Very good times indeed. We're going to cross a runway here. In the meantime, we're going to start the APU. Make sure that we can cross the runway rapidly. And we have done that. Okay, I've got numerous gates out ahead. I forget which which concourse this is, but it is one of the concourses here at Miami. I've spent actually a couple days of my life here at this airport, so I'm actually more familiar with it than you may expect. However, we're going to park up over here. We'll stop about here. Good enough. Parking brake set. APU is started and APU gens are on. Turning off the engine gens. Shutting the engines down. Engines off. Engine stop. Beautiful. Okay, give me ground services, please. Give me jetway connection, por favor.
Miami ground Boeing Foxtrot 601. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
All right.
Boeing Foxtrot 601. The jetway is going to be connected.
Nice, and give me an EPU.
Miami ground Boeing Foxtrot 601. Could you please send a ground power unit?
Boeing Foxtrot 601. A ground power unit is on the road.
Good stuff. External power is on. Give me APU offline and APU shutdown. Give me battery off. All right, airplane's running off of external power. And that about covers it.
Miami ground Boeing Foxtrot 601. Could you please send the baggage?
Boeing Foxtrot 601 baggage is on the way.
That about covers it as far as we're concerned. The last thing we need to do is retract our spoilers here. Good. They came out on landing and we never retracted them, but we have since done that, and now the airplane is sitting here on the ground. I believe we still have, yep, we still have our landing lights engaged. That's a problem. We still have our beacons and strobes up, but landing lights coming off, beacons and strobes coming off. Right. And that just about covers it in terms of the things that should or should not be in position here as we are sitting here at the gate. So there it was from Newark, New Jersey to Miami, Florida, the flight that every New Jersey resident has made at least once, because Florida is the land of death if you are from the Northeast. Wonderful. Wonderful weather conditions, no problems with the airplane. Weather was great, visibility was great, cruised at 40,000 feet the whole time, no problems whatsoever. Awesome. Until next time, though, I do thank you all very much for watching. I do hope to make these flight simulator videos a little bit more consistent and a little bit more of a recurring theme, because I love airplanes, I love aviation, and I love flight simulators. So if I can do it, I will do it, and I'll be very happy to do it. Till next time, though, Ferrari Mount 601 saying thank you very much for watching, and of course, we will see you soon.